Well, it is that time once again to name our Michigan Science Center here in southeastern Michigan the best in the nation. And this time we're going to do it. Joining us now is Lucy Hale, the Chief Business Officer at the Michigan Science Center, to talk about how you can help them earn what they deserve, the recognition as the best science center here in the United States. Lucy, thanks for being with us today.
Oh, thanks so much for having me, Tyler. It's great to see y'all.
Yeah, great to have you back on with us. And of course, last year in USA Today's 10 Best competition for the, in particular for the top science museum, Michigan Science Center was right up there. They were competing for that top spot last year and got really close. Ended up finishing in seconds. And so this year, again, competing for that top spot. How can people help out the Michigan Science Center and give them the recognition they deserve as the best science center in the U.S.?
Yeah, so we're really honored to be in this contest again. That is USA Today's 10 Best contest. And the contest runs through February 12th or midnight on February 13th. And so folks can vote all through the weekend. And you can go right to our website, and there's a yellow banner at the bottom of our website that pops up, and you can click the link right there, and it will take you right to the contest page where you can vote. And we finished number 2 last year. The leaderboard is now dark in these final days of the contest, but we went into these final days in 3rd place. And so we're hoping that we can come out on top this year. We know that we're the number 1 place for putting folks at the center of science, and we want to spread that word throughout the country.
And what makes that difference between you and the field? These are great science centers all throughout the U.S. Don't get me wrong. We love what they're doing in these other cities, but no one does it like we do it here in Michigan. So what sets the Michigan Science Center apart in its mission from these other places?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it is a wonderful group of science museums that we're in the running for 20 other museums across the country. And many of them are, just incredibly vibrant parts of their communities, just like we are here in Detroit. I've even worked for some of them and love them dearly. But I think what makes us different here in Detroit is that our institution is, when you walk in, you have that feeling of being welcome and being in a really vibrant and safe and fun space in a way that I've never felt before in a museum. And our team is just we hear over and over again, the customer service of our team is just through the roof, and people really have the best day when they come here. And part of that is the staff engagement and the fact that you're able to talk with and meet folks all across the museum that are there to help you and guide you through the experiences of your day. But it's also the over 220 hands-on exhibits we have. It's the special exhibits we bring in. Right now we have Level Up featuring Electric Playhouse Travels up on our 4th floor. And it's our ability to be really fast and test things out and bring things in, and everything from our programs to our films, and really create a space that's going to be different every single time you come. You're going to experience something different. And I think that's part of what makes us so special here. And then the connection, obviously, to the incredibly rich science and technology history and future that Detroit has. It's a really special city, and that's a really important part of who we are.
And what I love so much about what you do at the Michigan Science Center, the events you put together, the different exhibits that you're putting together and that you're bringing in from outside the local area, is that it applies to things that we're seeing in our communities, and it applies to real life, and it combines the interactivity of other places we can experience science and history, like the Cranbrook Museum here in the Oakland County area, and the Ann Arbor Hands-On Museum. It combines all the great elements of all those different places that we all love to experience and we all love to patronize in one area, but creates a learning experience too for people of all different ages. So how do you focus that and turn your exhibits and everything that you're presenting to the community into that interactive experience that can expand from ages young to old?
Yeah, that's a really great point. We are part of a wonderful ecosystem of museums, science museums, and other kinds of museums. And I think that's part of what makes living here so special. And that's part of our role, is to really understand, what if somebody goes to the Detroit Zoo and then they go to Cranbrook and then they come to us and then they go to Belle Isle, they can have very different experiences and really extend their learning in science and in technology and in nature. And that's that's a really important thing for us to be a part of. It's an ecosystem of learning and also joy that people get to have here. And so for us, we want to take some of those science concepts that are, really, when you learn them in school, they might be tough to understand. Things around, whether it's energy or the forces of motion or waves and light, or even concepts around things like invention and entrepreneurship. We have a wonderful Spark Lab that's part of the Smithsonian's program. And that is an area where kids and people of all ages get to explore the process of invention and the process of entrepreneurship. And so those are experiences that you can learn about them in school, but then when you come here, you actually get to do them. And the doing is part of what helps us really process the learning and helps us bring that into our lives and then bring it back out into the world, as we go on in our careers and in our growing up. And so, for us, we don't, I would love for as many kids as possible that come through here to become scientists. That would be wonderful. But really, what's more important is that every kid that comes here just falls in love with science and understands how important it is in their daily lives, and finds joy in science. And that's part of what I think makes our place so special.
And there's so many great amenities, too, beyond the exhibits that you're bringing in and that remain in place for people to experience day in and day out at the Michigan Science Center. Other experiences that are learning experiences, but also, visual and connect all the senses, too, like your theater there as well.
Yeah, and we have 3 theater spaces, which is pretty rare. There's a few other science museums that have, 2 or 3 theaters, but it's very rare to have that. And so we have our planetarium. We have our Toyota 40 Engineering Theater, so that's, you can experience things not just in 3 dimensions, but in 4 dimensions. And then we have our IMAX Dome Theater, which is the oldest running IMAX film IMAX in the country. And they're all wonderful spaces, and they can transport you to anywhere in the world or even different planets and different parts of the universe. And so those, we think about our theaters as portals to other worlds. And so when you come here, you might be in Detroit, but you might get to go on an underwater adventure with sea turtles, for example. That's a film that's coming later in February. Or you might get to go to some of the biggest cities around the world and learn about engineering. That's Dream Big, that's coming to the IMAX later this month, too. So they are really, really important parts of our mission, and they're important parts of our community as well. And the theaters create a different opportunity, too. So we also host events in the evenings. And so folks might come to the Michigan Science Center to see a film in one of our theater spaces, and then also get to enjoy some exhibits while they're here.
We're joined by Lucy Hale on today's edition of the Megacast, Chief Business Officer at the Michigan Science Center. You can learn more information and get that direct link to head to USA Today's website and vote the Michigan Science Center as the nation's top science museum in their 10 best competition by going to the Michigan Science Center's website at mi-sci.org, mi-sci.org for more information and to vote in all the 10 best competitions and vote for organizations and different places all across Michigan. In those competitions, 10best.com is the direct link for that as well. So Lucy, going into this contest last year, finishing in second this year, as far as we know right now, you're standing in about third, but you're right up there in that top 3, and hopefully we'll take away the top spot. What does this mean for the Michigan Science Center? What would it mean for the Michigan Science Center to come out number 1 in 2023?
It would mean the world to us. Our team is incredible. And, we've been through quite a bit the last few years, like everybody has with the pandemic and other events that were related to weather that impacted us here. And so we have a really resilient, phenomenal team, and it would just mean the world to us to be number 1 in the country. And we love our competition. We're COSI down in Columbus, Ohio, is in number 1 going into the contest, and we would love those bragging rights as much as we love them too. So it would just mean the world to us.
Yeah, and having talked to Dr. Greer last year about this before this competition, I remember that those pesky guys down in Columbus taking that crown from you last year. And so now it's time for us to take that back and win the championship in 2023. Lucy, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. It was great to see y'all.